the weekend is here, which means it's a great time to catch a movie. Let's take a look at some of the new films hitting screens this weekend with film critic Richard Crouse. Always great to chat with you, my friend. We got Rich?
Thanks for having me.
There he is. Rich, I'm very curious about your review on The Smashing Machine, starring Dwayne Johnson. I'm sure many people might think it's not a big stretch for him to play a guy who fights in the ring, but I'm hearing that there's a lot more depth to this performance.
Yeah, this is a much different thing than we've seen him do before. Now, he is playing a UFC fighter who uses a lot of wrestling moves in his work, but the character is much different than anything we've seen him do before. This movie takes place between 1997 and the year 2000. So the UFC is just starting to become a worldwide phenomenon, and Mark Kerr was one of the first big superstars of the ring, played by Dwayne Johnson here. You'll see from the video that we're showing you here, he doesn't look like The Rock anymore. They've done something to him. He's wearing a ton of makeup, the body unmistakable, but he's transformed himself into this character who was an absolute animal in the ring. He rarely ever lost a match. He loved the feeling of winning, which means pulverizing someone else in the ring. But when he was outside the ring, soft-spoken, gentle, he was, a much different guy. And this gives Dwayne Johnson the chance to stretch a little bit. He's working opposite Emily Blunt. This is their third film together, and they have a nice camaraderie as boyfriend and girlfriend. The rest of the movie, though, kind of let me down because it's a movie that wants to tell you everything rather than show it to you. So the highs and lows of Mark Kerr's career, we hear about them, but we don't often see them. And movies that are show me, don't tell me form. So I gave The Smashing Machine, which is now playing in theaters, 3 out of 5 stars, even though I do think this is Dwayne Johnson's best performance ever.
That's what apparently what Rotten Tomatoes said as well. So that's a lot of people are saying this is a great film. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm curious if you got good vibrations from the new Mark Wahlberg movie.
Well, this is called Play Dirty. It's on Prime Video right now, and it's got a good cast. Tony Shalhoub is in here, Mark Wahlberg, Lakeith Stanfield. But the name that you should be paying attention to here is Shane Black, who co-wrote it and directed it. If you know that name, you know that he wrote the Lethal Weapon movies. He directed The Nice Guys, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He has a way of creating really colorful characters, placing them in absurd situations, usually involving crime and the crime genre, and then allowing their personalities to really drive the action. And mostly that's what happens here. The movie is a little generic. It's about as generic as the title, but you've got some good actors doing some good work. Mark Wahlberg here seems to be kind of walking through this in a less interested way, let's say, than some of the other actors. But for Saturday night or a Friday night at home on Prime Video, you could do a lot worse than Play Dirty.
For a lot of people who are, really into, I guess, life imitating art and Big Brother and all these kind of things that are happening right now with digital IDs, Orwell 2 + 2 = 5 looks at the influence of the iconic author George Orwell.
Yeah, this is a really interesting documentary that will make you think. And probably if you have read 1984 or Animal Farm, you already know a lot of sort of the theories of George Orwell, the idea of doublethink and newspeak and Big Brother and how, totalitarian governments seek to keep you under their heel. What this movie does in a really interesting way is give you a biography of George Orwell, starting with his birth, sort of, cradle to grave biography. But all along the way, it tells you what influences in his life pushed him to create these lessons and these philosophies about the world and world politics. And then it shows you how those are reflected in our world in the last 50 years, but also in the last couple of years. So this is a very timely documentary that's kind of chilling in its realism. So it's called Orwell 2 + 2 = 5. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5, and it's in theaters right now.
And this next one recently won an award at TIFF.
The next one is called The Road Between Us, The Ultimate Rescue, played at the Toronto International Film Festival. It won the People's Choice Award for the best documentary, and it's about Noam Tibon, who was a retired Israeli general who on October 7th, 2023, so almost 2 years ago to the day, rescued his son Amir and his daughter-in-law and their children from the Hamas terror attack. And this is a movie that is very urgent. This is a movie that pieces together almost in real time the 19-minute drive from the point at which he found out that his son was in a safe room on a kibbutz to the time that he arrives at the kibbutz. It almost happens in real time. Not quite, but almost. And that gives this a sense of propulsive energy moving forward. So I gave The Road Between Us, The Ultimate Rescue, which is now in theaters, 3.5 stars out of 5.
Thanks as always, Rich. Have a great weekend.
We'll talk to you soon, Jamie. Thank you.